Thanks for stopping by. I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial, but it means to have something playing in the background while you work on your own knitting project. If you're like me and really enjoy having something on while you work, sometimes the content you like to watch is very visually engaging, and you're several hours in and haven't gotten nearly as far along in your project as you would have liked to. So that's where I come in. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. We are continuing with the Mitt the Family pattern, and we are very close to getting to the very end of the hand part before I can start binding off and then picking up on the thumb portion. So this pattern is available on Ravelry for a small fee. If you do care to join us for this knit along, go ahead and click in the description box on the link. I am not affiliated with this person. I'm not being sponsored to promote this. It was just a suggestion of a project to do, and I am going about my way, and I'm getting very close to finishing at least the first hand. So yeah, we are just going to keep working in pattern until we are close, and then we can bind off. I only have maybe 2 more rounds left until I am at the 2-inch portion where the pattern for my size hand says I need to be to go to the next step. So I hope you're all having a good day wherever you are. It is Friday evening. I had work. I had work late, kind of. I didn't get off until almost 7 o'clock. I had some dinner, and now I am here with you guys. Afterward, I'm going to go on my walk because it's like dusky, not quite sundown, but the sun is definitely set, but it's still pretty light outside, and I prefer to go on my walks at night because so far I've been able to avoid people. Yesterday I actually went out when it was still pretty light out, and I ran into several people, and I just don't like that because they're not wearing their masks, and depending on where you go, some people will say you don't need to wear your mask if you're outside, but when you're walking right next to somebody because there's like nowhere you can walk around them, that's a problem. When it's between you and the street and the person, you usually don't want to walk in the street because you don't want to get hit by a car. At least I don't. So I just wear my mask when I'm out, but I would like to not have to, but you know, it is what it is. I'd rather wear my mask than not wear it and run into somebody else who is also not wearing theirs and potentially inhale something when they're walking by me. So I just have it on, but I like to go at night because then I don't have as many risks as if I do it during the day because nobody really goes out at night around here. So I just walk around a little bit and get my fresh air. And yes, it's been a whirlwind week. I was really hoping to film more with this project earlier in the week, but as it goes, work has just been consuming me. I'm hoping to take some time off. I mean, I say before things really pick up, but they've already picked up. We're very busy now that we've decided to stay closed to pretty much everybody until further notice. So our big company made the decision, and now we're just kind of deciding how to continue on providing services to people while we are kind of still on lockdown. And yeah, and then one of my coworkers is taking off next week, so I'll be serving as backup for them for pretty much a good portion of the week. My other coworker, who used to be my supervisor, is also supposed to be helping, but I know they have some other stuff they're working on too, so I really don't know what this will make of my week, but if I have a few more gray hairs by the next time you see me, you'll know why. I'm going to do my very best to do as much of this project over the weekend as I can so that I have all of next week ready. But I cannot make any promises, but I'm hoping I will be able to do at least some of the week, at least the first half of the week. But we're already almost there, which is a good sign. But yes, I definitely can use a bubble bath. Oh man, I miss taking baths. My bathtub is a little scary looking. It's very old. I live in a very old building, and there's a lot of like gunk, like hard water stains, and it just looks like somebody left a rust bucket in the tub. And my last place was kind of like that too, and I just haven't wanted to take a bath in any of my apartments in a very long time. Now, the loft that I used to talk about every now and then that I lived at, they were really nice bathrooms because I was lucky, and I think I was maybe the second or third tenant in that unit since it had been refurbished. It used to be a warehouse, or not even a warehouse. It used to be a showroom for like stoves and furnaces, and a long time ago, and then it got converted into an industrial loft because that was all the rage in the early 2000s. And when my partner and I moved in, we were like the second or third tenants in that unit since it had been remodeled or converted and used as residential space instead of commercial space. So the tub was still nice because there weren't that many people who had used it. But the ones that I lived in before that and after that were just really grody, so I could never have a nice bath. And it was so sad because like my friend, or at least one of my friends, we exchanged Easter baskets 2 years ago, and I want to say, no, it was 1 year ago, yeah, because she came over, and she gave me these bath bombs that are really cute, but I cannot use them. But let me know, do you like baths? Are you a bath person? I love baths. I just never take them anymore because my apartments have the worst bathtubs and don't trust them, don't want to be in them. I don't like the thought of many baths being had in the bathroom that I rent from. But if I own my own, even though that probably, depending on how many owners were of the home, it might be just as bad. But generally homes stick around for a while. You usually don't have that many people who live in them in quick succession. So even so, if I really wanted to, I could just buy a new bath if I had one. If I had my own home, I could remodel my bathroom if I wanted and install a new bathtub. But most of the time, any house I've lived in, whether my parents were the first owners, which is the house that I pretty much grew up in, we were the only homeowners, or if I lived in one that was previously owned, which has only been one other place, 2 other places, those bathtubs are fine. Okay, so we're at the end of this round. I'm going to go ahead and do my purl to lock my stitch marker in place. Oh yeah, and I think, no, I have to catch up on the comments. I've been so busy. I've seen comments, I know they're there, but I haven't had a chance to look at them thoroughly to reply to all of them. So at the time of this video, Friday night I'm filming this, when I'm editing for the next week, I will be responding to comments. So if there's something that I'm not addressing in any of the videos you see, it's because I usually do a batch filming, upload them in a batch, and then I go through later in the week and review comments from the previous uploads, time permitting. But it has been heckin' hard this week to just not be asleep right after work because of all the stuff that we've been doing. Well, all the stuff that I've been doing, we've been doing as a group, has really made me sleepy and not as coherent to engage all that much online. So I've just been laying low. Yay! Okay, so I'm actually at the 2-inch mark, so I can go ahead and finish this round. And bind off, because it says end on a purl round, so I will be ending this one, which is purl. But yeah, I'm sure there are all kinds of corrections or guidance that I have missed since uploading for this week, but or at least the previous week as you see this now. But just know I intend to look at all the comments and respond. There was what was it? Something happened recently. Oh yes, I was thinking of what I was going to tell you guys. A friend of mine who I used to work with at my old job had messaged me on Facebook, and I'm like, hey girl, I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Okay? Just want to check in. And honestly, on my personal Facebook account, I have not been active at all for maybe a month or two now. It's been a long time. Another coworker of mine, same job, messaged me because we were part of the book club, and she had asked me because I hadn't been going to the book club in a while, and she was like, hey, I haven't seen you. What's up? What's going on? How are you? And I gave her the same update. It's just like, I am so tired of the tomfoolery that's been going on Facebook. And a part of it is like the people I know that I associate or used to with. And, if I unfriend or unfollow all the folks that I went to school with from either college or undergrad or high school or elementary school, I would have no engagement on Facebook. And I use it mainly just to keep in touch with people who I grew up with and friends and family who I don't see all the time, especially nowadays. But it's also a place where people like to share other things, and when all of the protests started, COVID was already kind of like, oh, this is a really sucky time, I don't like this very much. And then the protests started, and then I was hearing from people who, I thought were supportive of the movement and were not really seeing the whole premise behind why people were rioting, and even sometimes, understanding that some of the rioters weren't actually the people who were protesting and were there to instigate, and all of the factors that go in, but with the same, justification that people are very upset and want to see change, and some people not understanding that there needs to be change. So that was really bogging me down. I'm like, you know what, I'm already losing sleep. I don't need this extra stressor in my life. So there are only so many cute cat photos I can post, because that's all I do. I just say, hey, look at this cool recipe, look at this cute cat, look at this cool recipe, look at this cute cat. And that's pretty much all that I post on Facebook, on my own personal account. So having all that other stuff just bogged me down. There wasn't any form of happiness that I could find through the current situation. So I just decided to tune myself out. Now Instagram is different, because it's I'm filtering by what I like. I'm following people who will have cats or like knitting, or maybe a little of both. And I'm posting cats and knitting and a little of both, and that's it. and that's all I see, and that's all I give back, and that's all I want. Is just happy place. Like, that's what I need right now, because everything else is just too much mentally for me, and I'm getting tired of it. So yeah, basically I just told my friend that. I'm like, yeah, I just haven't been on because I am exhausted. All of the things happening, I need a space to get away from that, not be beat up across the head with it. So I have elected to be on Facebook hiatus indefinitely. I still have my account. I just don't go on it. I don't post. I don't like. I don't comment. I don't share. I just exist as an account holder. Alright, so now that we've finished our purl round, I can bind off, and it says bind off purl-wise. So I was like, whoa, cool beans. Here we go. We're making this happen, guys. We're almost to the end. But yes, that was my little update, is that my friend had asked me what was going on, which I do appreciate. I'm like, I'm still alive, I promise. Just mentally taking a break from the heavy engagement required out of Facebook. And then, maybe in a couple months, people will see me posting cat pictures again. You never know. But yes, we are binding off. Very, very cool. Man, you know what? I feel like it's been a long time since I've had to bind off a project because I have so many whips. Works in progress that are just sitting on needles, looking cute, asking paws and pearls to finish them, and I'm like, one day, guys, one day. This'll be a finished project probably before any other Christmas project that I have. Like those socks. I started knitting them, and then I got busy, and then I started working on this project, and I was like, okay, I'll work on this one for August, and then I'll get back into the socks. But I do have it at my desk, so I have been knitting. I'm almost done with the one that I need to make so that the pair actually match. And then I'll take a break because I'm like, I don't think I want to knit I had to decide because I'm looking at how much yarn I have left of the sock I jacked up, and I'm like, do I knit the extra short sock, or do I knit the one where I did the 1x1 rib instead of the 3x1 rib? That I don't know. So I'm on the fence on that one. Because I could just have a pair of like really weird looking ankle socks and just say, okay, I know the two that don't match are the ones that are short, and live with it. But I mean, all the work I made with the one sock, I really don't want to rip it out and just use the yarn for another sock, because one, it's going to be too short anyway, because it's just too short as an ankle on its own, and I would only be able to make one sock because there's no more yarn after that. But I think I have some other sock projects in the horizon, or fingerless gloves too. I found another pattern that I might try. Ooh, we'll see. Yikes, come on, you. There we go. Doing this. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble getting this over. It's not any different than regular. It's just the stitch that I'm doing. But yay. This This, guys, honestly might be the fastest project that we've worked on. At least getting one thing down on it. That's what I can say. That's how I feel. Whoop, whoop. Okay. And as long as I don't, like, jack up the next one, should be able to work through this pretty fast. At least, like, you know, knitting the second mitten, fingerless mitten, I guess is what you call it. Hand cuff. Because this part of the struggle was understanding the pattern, but now that I've done it once, I should be okay. But I've said that before. I've said that several times. You probably could, if you drink, have a drinking game of how many times I've said something was going okay, and it clearly wasn't later once I got further down. I was like, whoop, whoopsies. Totally messed that one up. But here we go. Gonna take a peek at the clock. Oh, 7 minutes. I should be through to the end of this cuff by then, casting off. It's taking longer because my, I don't know why I'm pulling from the back, lifting it open over. I could just pull from the front. It does the same thing. And maybe it's easier. We'll see. We'll see. Come on, you. Yay. Cool. So, wish me luck, guys. My partner is having a party. Well, they're not really having a party. They're attending a picnic on Sunday, and they asked me what to make. Well, first they asked their friends what they wanted, and they said beans. I was like, okay, they're Japanese, so beans aren't really a thing there in Japan. They're native Japanese people who were here for work, and they're going back to Japan. And they befriended my partner, and they asked, you know, what did they want to have as like their farewell picnic meal. And they said beans. And then my partner was like, oh, I could make them chicken makhani, which is like butter chicken. It's an Indian dish. And I'm like, yo, the kind of, like, the jar you buy at the store is not authentic Indian. Like, you need to go to a restaurant that's like legit and actually get it there, because that's more true to the dish than what you buy in the jar at the supermarket. Like the simmer sauce, basically. And they're like, yeah, that's true. But they came home with that anyway. And they came home with 3 sacks of dried beans. And I told my partner, I'm like, are you really going to cook all those beans? And they said yes. So $5 is, I'm going to be woken up at some point tomorrow, because the picnic is on Sunday, but they're leaving early in the morning because they have to run an errand beforehand. So they're going to meet them later at the park. And I don't even know what park they're going to. So my guess is that I'm going to be asked to help. And I told my partner that they would have a better time using canned beans because it's going to be faster for them and easier than trying to slow cook beans, because they don't even know how. So I have a feeling they're not going to look it up, and they're going to ask me, and I'm going to pretend to be asleep. I'm gonna try to pretend to be asleep all day long so they don't bother me, because I told them not to do that. It's like, why are you... If you wanted me to cook the beans, that's one thing, but I'm not gonna make food that I'm not gonna eat because you want to be difficult. Like, okay, that's just me complaining. But what is that? Like, you're gonna try to make the most challenging thing and make somebody else do it after they already suggested something that would work a lot faster. So we'll see how it goes. They're like, oh, I'll just do it overnight. I'm like, well, who's gonna watch the water? You know, like, how are you gonna do that? And they're like, oh, true. I was like, yes, very true. So we'll see. But yeah, they have a lot of stuff they're gonna be making for this picnic. And I'm like, beans aren't even really... And they're not like baked beans like you would think of, like at a normal barbecue. These are black beans, just seasoned black beans. So here we go. Just a few more stitches left. And I'll be done. Very cool. Now it's like the part where there aren't that many, so they're kind of like flying off the needles now. Alright. We have our first part, like so. Now let me try it. Now that it's done, oh, hide my little string. Okay, not horrible. My wrist is right here. The cuff starts right there. Have my thumb sticking out and my hands. Now, I'm sure if I block this or something, I can make that cover the rest of my hand, but right now it's just sticking right out on the bottom of my first row of knuckles at the end of my palm. So there's that. Now we can shape the thumb, I guess. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.